I like to know where people stand so I know how to treat you accordingly.
Baby trying to do it, I'm just doing me. I be working hard and they just want it free. Let's go. Look at how I'm whipping, so they tripping now. Take away the fake, you see the difference now.
Be competitive with yourself.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jsean for another quick and cool pickup. Pretty cool to see a company who started off down here and now is competing and very competitive with other known and name brands that you find affordable and reliable. So with that being said, they reached out to me again. This is basically something that I was already interested in, something that I was already wanting. Okay, so this particular panel is very diverse. Let me just show you really quickly. So if you see right here, it's very compact. It's like the size of basically my hand. My hand is not that big. It's perfect square or whatever, and it's probably like 8 to 10 inches in either direction. It does have a removable barn door, as you can see here. The barn door is plastic, but this is the thing. It really doesn't have to be metal or aluminum or anything like that. It's not really the selling point of the item. A couple different things is this is actually removable. If you see in these corners right here, you can remove them. This is a diffusion sheet that you can also remove. I usually always keep diffusion sheets inside of LED panels just because LED panels can be a little harder to soften, at least in my experience and how I use them. The build quality is aluminum, and these barn doors, like I said, they are plastic. But one thing is kind of cool that you can see is these are basically a better or higher end type of light bead or LED diode or whatever you want to call it. They're in a different type of pattern, as you can see right here. They're kind of like in a most LEDs are either straight or at a diagonal. This kind of has like this like zigzaggy type of pattern, which is supposed to help it. I don't want to get too tech spec on you, but I will give you some information that I'll provide later on in the video that I can basically kind of just feed your brain for some of that stuff. If you're already into the GVM brand and you already may have had some of the GVM lights like myself, I'm pretty much out of date with it because a lot of the panels that I have are not the ones that they would directly compare to this. So I have three different versions of different panels, and like I was saying, is like when I first used them, they didn't even have remotes. It was just like they were connecting to another panel, but they didn't have like a hard physical remote just to turn it on and off. Now they had a remote, and then now they have an app. They didn't come with this particular setup, but these are batteries that I had with my previous GVM panels and my electronic slider. So these are the type of Sony batteries you can use. Now, with that being said, you can power this either by AC power, or you can power this with those Sony batteries right here. Now, there's a switch here that you can switch in either direction. One is going to be for AC power, one is going to be so you can use the batteries, okay? This is a very small, lightweight panel, and the crazy thing is it actually came with a case. I'll do my best to try to show you in this small space, but this is the case right here. Super compact. Like I said, some of this stuff is actually kind of hard to see, or you can't really tell looking at a video. But that small case, I wasn't sure if only one panel, two panel, wasn't really sure, but they had two panels neatly packed inside. They had two actual light stands in there as well. Now the light stands, I was really surprised that the light stands were in there. Even though the light stands are not like super heavy duty, big, large type of light stands, they're good enough for this particular setup. One of the selling features on this to me is the good build quality and being lightweight and compact. So with that being said, you don't need a heavy duty light stand. It serves its purpose and it matches well with this particular light. So this light right here I think is pretty great. This particular one, since I didn't say it already, is a GVM-850D. It's only 40 watts of power, and it's a bicolor panel, which is 32K to 56K, which is basically warm lighting to cool lighting, which you would kind of picture like daylight. So it's very easy to match with indoor lighting, and it's very easy to match with outdoor lighting, daylight. Now, the cool feature about this that I personally like, that I want it for, is that you can actually adjust it with RGB, where you can have like red, green, blue, all these different things. If you want to get really technical, I'll let you know this information shortly when I cut into some close-up shots of some of these things that I want to talk about. But it's basically a very diverse panel. So if you look at my background, to me, this is very important. If you see the subtle light, like this little pinkish light here. I got a bluish light over there. You got these little lights over here. These color lights are, this little pop of color is very subtle, but these pops of color like you see over here, it adds a little dimension, a little style to your scene, and these lights will be perfect for that. So my background, when I used to use stuff like this, basically I used to use stage lighting for RGB style lights. The stage lighting I used was really big. The cord was super short because it was attached to the lighting, and you could hook it as like a DMX controller where you can like turn the lights like to make like a light show and stuff like that with DJ type stuff and fog machines and all kind of crazy stuff like that, like for stage presence. The thing of it is that they were so big, they also have fans in them. They're super loud and very inconvenient to carry around. It was cool to have those to spray on the wall and stuff like that for those type of setups. But if you use them for anything other than stage lighting, for say like a music video, say like a creative lighting like this in the background, it's very inconvenient and it's hard to place it into a place where it's not going to pick up the noise from the audio and stuff like that. So these panels are so small. I would always personally leave the diffuser on it, even though you're going to kill some of the power. It doesn't matter. Just for me, I don't like harsh lighting in general. So these are very easy to place somewhere. Again, if I wanted to, I can pop in the battery. Let me just show you. I don't remember if you need 2 or 1. So let's just see real quick. The first switch to the right is if you're plugging in the wall. 2 is for this. I don't remember if you have to have both batteries in or just one. Let me just see. Yeah, you definitely need 2 batteries. So now we know that. There you go. So right now you see this is on the hue, okay? So I don't know the hue in the way that they describe it, but let me just show you. Well, I'll get into it more when I read the quote unquote tech specs off. This part of the video is just me just giving you my experience and my general understanding of what this is and how it affects me. And hopefully you can relate to it and it can affect you as well and help you out in any type of way. As you can see, this is kind of like that purple hue I got in the background that I like. Look how small this light is, how you can kind of shut the light down a little bit. Now, these type of barn doors aren't going to be perfect. It's not like a super true spotlight effect of anything like that, but it can try to cut off some of the glare coming off the sides. And let me just show you here. This is not on the bright settings or anything like that. Let me see. So this is the brightness. This is at 100%. It's not actually crazy bright, but this is the thing. When you have these type of lights, you don't want it super bright. So, excuse me, if you look at my background, like these subtle lights here, they're very, I don't know what's going on. They're very dim. All you need is a little bit of pop of color, at least for this particular scenario. So for me, I don't need it to be crazy. So all I need is a subtle little pop. Like this right here is super dim. It's like literally at 5%, okay? So it's not gonna be as bright as using the panel in like a lower Kelvin temperature or using it in more of a daylight temperature, right? So anytime you have a bicolor light, it's gonna be less power than say a dedicated daylight balanced LED panel because it's sharing the LED diodes or whatever you want to call them, the beads, in order to produce that light. Look at my speaker back here, how it's pinkish purple. I don't even know what this is, purple. Yeah, so this is off. Imagine if this wasn't here and you couldn't see the panel, okay? Imagine, look, just a little splash of color. Now look at this speaker. Now look at that speaker over there. See how it's super white? Now imagine if I had these set up like somewhere over there shooting down at my speaker, and then I had the other one over here shooting at this speaker. I could make my speakers different colors and just make it kind of pop and make it look like a cool little aesthetic in the background, which I think is pretty dope. So even though this is not a tech review, I just want to get to a point where you can kind of understand what you're getting into if you're a type of person who needs that information. So I think this information that I've provided is just basically a general type of summary of the lights and how I use them and how maybe you can use them as well. And it's included with the light stands. The 2 light stands are very lightweight. They're not heavy duty at all, but it's a good match for these particular panels because these are also very lightweight. Now this keeps everything portable and lightweight while all fits into a very compact case. I told you the compact case, I didn't even realize everything that was in it. So these are just some product facts. Now this part right here, this is the part where I'm gonna get a little bit of techie like on you because I have to break these things down just in case you already have any type of GVM lights. Now I am gonna read this off, so just bear with me, and I'll probably cut to some B-roll so you don't got to keep seeing me read this stuff. But if you're deciding on which GVM lighting setup works best for you. So the 850D has 2.5 more lamp beads and 3.6 more times the lumen value of the 800D. The 850D's lumen value is also 2.6 times larger, with twice the light emitting area of the 680RS, while also being 2.8 times thinner. So it's very hard to tell, like I told you on camera, but this is a very compact and lightweight panel. So the 850D is also 1.2 times brighter than the 1000D and 2.8 times brighter than the 50RS, with 68 more lumens than the 880RS. So long story short, these lights are great for creative use, but a little small for my personal needs for any type of key lighting. So I've used GVM products for a while now, and they have all held up since the same day I started using them up until this point. So I've used a slider to 3 different style light panels and now this one. And this is from their original offerings as far as what I've already owned. I still think either way it's great to see new companies start somewhere and grow to be an affordable quality option right next to all the other existing brands that we come to be familiar with now. So you can find these GVM products and what they have to offer on Amazon. You can find them on GVM-LED.com, which is their direct website. And also now one of my favorite places to get gear from, which is B&H Photo and Video. So with that being said, I hope this was helpful in any type of way. Again, I didn't want it to be real techy or anything like that. It's not a technical review. It is just something that I wanted to share with you that I feel like means something to me and can potentially help someone like you. With that being said, make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level. And remember, you're no competition with anybody except yourself. So make sure your next move is your best move, or at least your better move. I'll talk to you later.